This is Inside Mside, your favorite podcast for all things Morningside. Here's stories from students, alumni, faculty, and more about what makes the Morningside experience so special.
Welcome into this episode of Inside Mside. Today we have three wonderful guests joining us from the Morningside Volleyball team. We have head coach Jessica Squier, we have outside hitter junior Sydney Marlow, and senior libero Payton Shoquist. Big year for the volleyball team, making the NAIA tournament for the first time in a little while, making the GPAC tournament, some big wins over ranked teams, things of that nature. Just list some of the accomplishments. But Coach, now that you've had some time to reflect, how would you describe this season as a whole?
Describing it would be, we talk a lot about grit this last year, and I would just say that this entire season was just all about grit. We played one of the toughest schedules in NAIA, and the girls competed in every match that we played in, and that's all you can ask for as a coach. So, yeah, I would describe this last season as very gritty for us.
And would you guys kind of agree that, a tough schedule, a lot of ranked teams, obviously GPAC being one of the toughest, if not the toughest conference in the country, would you say that kind of grit and that gritty effort bonded you guys together as a team?
Yeah, for sure. I would say that through the ups and the downs, we really came together and worked hard as a team, and that's what put us in the best position to win those tough games and learn from those moments.
Payton, as a senior leader on the team this year, what was kind of your message to the team as you guys were gearing up? GPAC tournament was coming closer. You guys knew that with strong performance towards the end of the year, you'd make the GPAC tournament, you'd have a chance to make the NAIA tournament. What was kind of your message to the team as one of the leaders?
I would say it was kind of just enjoying the moment that we're in, and because it was such a cool opportunity to be in that position and how we trusted each other the whole season, and then to come to that point just to bond together and play the best we can and play our game that's what I would say.
And for each of you, when Morningside showed up on the NAIA tournament bracket reveal and you guys knew that the hard work had paid off and that one of the goals of this season, making the NAIA tournament, had been reached, what was that like to just see, all your hard work come to fruition?
I would say I feel like my heart stopped in that moment because I've been here for 4 years playing for Coach Squier, and I think it was so beautiful to see how much we have grown from 2020 to now, and now we have a completely different team and we're all bought into the process, and I just thought it was perfect.
Yeah, that moment was surreal. Obviously, we had some nerves. There were not that many at-large bids left. I think there was only, one left, and I think we got that. So we were nervous, but when that name popped up, it just showed us that all of our hard work had finally paid off, and we still had some season left.
Sure. And Coach, I know we chatted a couple of times, and you've already mentioned it, just how resilient this team was this year. Early in the season, 5-set matches against some really good teams that didn't even go your way, but it started to go your way later in the year. So, toughest, we talked about all that stuff. How much did, especially these two sitting next to you here, contribute to bringing that team together and that resiliency?
I mean, yeah, they came into practice every day willing to, work their tails off. And that's what you can ask from leaders. If I'm having to motivate, leaders internally to come in and work hard, then we're in trouble. So, I commend them for constantly coming in and consistently coming in with the mindset they're going to, get that 1%, 2%, 3% better every practice and put in good effort, to be good role models for the rest of the players. I thought even vocally, they really grew as leaders as well, holding people accountable when needed to be, held accountable, and, having, little group discussions or team discussions. And, they really enjoyed, I think, the moments that they had with each other as well, because, they may not have always saw eye to eye, or every player saw eye to eye on the court, but everybody came together with that common goal. And when you see that work come in on a daily basis, especially as a coach, and you're seeing them buy in, you're seeing them take control of their lives, it's pretty cool.
And I know you guys, as a team, no team really looks at outside expectations and uses that too much into what their own internal expectations are. But, outside expectations, conference coaches preseason poll didn't have you guys even making the conference tournament. Definitely didn't see you guys making the NAIA tournament if you look at it that way. So how did you guys kind of fuel yourselves? Obviously, like I said, you may not have used that specifically, but what was the fuel to kind of light the fire for you guys this year?
I think this team was full of competitors. Collectively, we set goals, and we were like, here's the deal. We have to reach these goals. And we took one step at a time, made small little goals within those big goals. And once we accomplished one goal, we took that as a win, and that built our confidence. But, yeah, I would just really say that with this team full of competitors, and our head coach is a competitor, and so we wanted to win, so we didn't really care what everybody else said.
Yeah, and I think we found like our own identity this year, and we weren't worried about like what other teams were doing within their own program. So this year we were definitely like creating our culture, and our culture was very big and very powerful. So I think that drove us majority of the season to get to the end.
Do you guys felt like you learned something from some of those tougher losses earlier in the season? I know you guys took Jamestown to 5 sets here, a team that was very highly ranked. I know you guys took Northwestern to 5 sets at one point, a team that made the championship game. Did you guys feel like in those big matches that maybe didn't go your way, you still were able to learn things from those matches and use them later on in the season?
Yeah, my belief is that you can take away something from every game you play, whether it's a win in 3 sets or a loss in 5. There's always something to learn and take away. And I think what we were learning in those big games is that we had never been in those positions before in previous years. We weren't competing at that kind of level before, but this year we really competed, and we were trying to get comfortable in those tough pressure moments and situations. And once we learned how to handle that, I think we had a lot more success.
And both of you also reached pretty significant milestones this year. Sydney, 1,000 kills and 1,000 digs in the same season. That's pretty rare, I would say, because not that many people have reached that in their career in general. You're actually the first person in the modern 25-point scoring era at Morningside to reach both milestones.
Good job.
Thank you.
So that's pretty significant. Less than 10 people in Morningside history, from what I could find, have done it. So what was it like, or what is it like, I guess, to know that you are in some pretty elite company with such a short list of names that have ever done something like that?
I mean, it's pretty awesome. I have really good teammates and coaches who have supported me and really made it possible for me to get there. If you would have asked me 4 years ago if I'd be in this position, I don't know what I would have said. But I'm glad that I'm doing it here with the people I'm doing it with. So, yeah.
It's pretty cool to think about. And Payton, for you, the career leader for digs by a libero in that same since 2008 with 1,640, which is not a small number. You also reached 1,000 digs this season. How much work did you put in the off season, in practice, before, whether it's in the spring or in preseason? How much work did you put in to make sure you were in the right spot to help your team and to find that right spot in the defense?
I definitely had to trust myself a lot. And so going into our workouts in the spring, going to all the practices with the mindset that I'm going to get better today for myself and for my teammates, because we're all part of a team. I just worked hard because I loved it, I think. So.
For sure.
She's also a hard worker.
And how sore did you get after some of those games? I mean, those 5-set matches where you're diving all over the floor, you probably got bruises all over,
Yeah.
Long matches, long rallies. How sore were you after some of those games?
I remember vividly there was a few games at the beginning of the season that I would go in to see Miles the next morning, and I would walk in. He's, "How you feeling?" I'm like, I'm not sure I'm actually out of bed yet because I think my legs aren't working anymore. But I feel like just the adrenaline in the moment, I don't feel it until like a few days later. And then I'm like going to practice. I'm like, I really got to stretch today.
And Sydney, I mean, there were times where, when you were clicking, you were getting a lot of feeds and you were having to attack a lot. How did you try and keep focused on just finding a different way to attack the ball each time so that way the defense couldn't predict where you were going with it every time?
That's what practice prepared me for. We work a lot on different shots, and if the defense is picking up this shot, try this shot. And not every shot is my hardest shot, right? We have like little tips and roll shots, and that can trick up the other team. So just putting in those little shots and trying to score is what I do, I guess.
For sure. And Coach, obviously, other factors kind of changed how this season went. I know, your starting setter at the starting of the year had an injury, so you had to have a newcomer step in and really step into a big role, and she really shined. And, obviously these two continued to step up. Just how proud are you of the team and some of those players who kind of maybe weren't expecting major roles but stepped into those roles?
I mean, I've told the players or our team, for years that depth is one of the biggest contributing factors to success. And, that's a reason why we had success this year. So, if you're not a starting player, you still have to, have that role of competing and being ready in the case of an injury happening. So, I'm proud that the girls stuck with it. Again, it was a trying season just with so much competition left and right. There just really wasn't ever just a break to win or a quote easy team, if you will, that we played. So, for our role players, our depth, our starters, to really, come in every practice and compete was a major contributing factor, to this season's success.
And I know, milestones aren't everything or the focus, especially statistical milestones. I know during the season, the least of your concerns is how many kills do I have this season, or how many digs do I have. But now that you've had a chance to kind of look back at it and, you've had a chance to reflect on the season, how rewarding is it to know that your hard work is paying off by reaching those milestones?
Well, it's really nice to see, I guess, because, I'm a senior. I'm graduating in May, and it's sad to leave, and I've done so much with this team. I'm gonna miss them so much, and I'm always gonna be so proud of them, and I can't wait to see what they do next year. But for myself, being able to see what I've done the past 4 years is it's nice to know that me diving on the floor every day for 4 years paid off.
You left your impact in that way.
Yeah.
And Sydney, you have a year yet to go, so how do you kind of channel the accomplishments of this year and use them as motivation for next year?
This spring I've been thinking a lot about how this being my last spring season and next fall being my last fall season, I just really got to leave it all out there. I only get 2 more semesters of this kind of lifestyle, and as challenging as it can be sometimes, this is it for it. So got to really leave it all out there and have no regrets.
And Coach, specifically when it goes to Payton in your senior class, how can you speak to the level that they've contributed to your program? They kind of came with you when you were starting out here. How can you speak to just the effort and what they've done for your program since you took over?
It's hard. What Payton has gone through all 4 years has been hard. And, I've been right there with her. And, we've had the losses or the losing seasons, and to continue pushing, forward, it's been hard, and then Gabby came in as a transfer, and, she helped us so much in her role as, competing daily within spring and then even practices. And Agnes, who was a student assistant for us, who, again, was with us from the beginning, and the poor chick, when she was playing, I think was in quarantine for 6 weeks at one point in 2020. So, for her to continuously come back too, I can't tell them enough how much I've appreciated them, because I've been there. There were days that I was like, what am I doing? What are we doing here? And, their continuous commitment, always helped me have a continuous commitment as well. So, I thank them tremendously for, balling out every day and doing what they can for the program.
And now moving forward, you have a really strong group of returners, a big group of returners for next year. How do you use this season with the success that you've had and channel it into extra motivation for next season with some of your big returners?
It's what we kept telling the girls is we're a bamboo tree, and to be honest with you, I don't even know if this is true or not, if bamboo grows for 5 years and then the last 6 months it all of a sudden springs up, but that's the saying out there, and the girls have been putting in so much work the last 2-3 years, and with understanding that it is an uphill battle within our conference, that we can go and play easy games in preseason, but ultimately at the end of the day, our conference is so tough that it doesn't prepare us for anything. So, for them doing what they did this year and continuously putting in that work, and then really seeing little milestones of being rated within the arc, this year, and then 2 moving up in the arc, and then 3 qualifying with an at-large bid. That's where that bamboo tree is now coming out from the soil, and I think that because they understood now that the work that they put in, and they're seeing those public successes, I don't think I'm going to have to really motivate them too much. I think that they completely understand the process now, and understand that the work that they need to put in on a continuous basis. So we've been doing small groups this last week, and they've been doing weights, and we've been doing some conditioning and agility, and I really haven't had to think to myself, I need to motivate them right now, or I need to get them externally motivated or anything like that. They've been coming in ready to work, and I think that they have a little bit chip on their shoulder, because they feel that we should have at least gone 5 with Kokomo, and if anything, we should have been at the final side if we would have just closed on 5 points at some point in the 5th set, or 4th set, excuse me, and so it life happens, and sometimes it doesn't go your way, and I think that now, instead of the past teams would have been like, oh man, shucks, oh well, now they're motivated, and they're mad, and a little bit frustrated, so they're coming in and not wanting to see that happen again to them.
For sure. And Payton, for you now, as you alluded to, being a senior, your 4 years here, so to speak, are up. What you reflecting on your time here? What's kind of been, what's your big takeaway from your 4 years here with the volleyball team, with your education, just everything all together? What's kind of the big message you have as you head out the door, so to speak?
I guess that life will always throw you curveballs, but I think being here, especially I'm not from here, so I'm pretty far away, but I think being here has really helped me learn how to handle the things that get thrown at you, especially my freshman year, our team was a lot. It was kind of crazy, and learning how to do all that, and then still change my major and be a good student and stuff, I think is really going to help me in my future, that I could still do things even when they get really difficult. I mean, it's really been proven this last year that, we've had tough years, and then we had a few tough losses in the beginning, and then at the end we achieved one of our goals, and to make it to the tournament. So
all right, I've got 5 rapid fire questions for the two of you. They're meant to be a little bit more fun, lighthearted, kind of quick answer things. So the first one I have is, what's your hype up song?
Formation by Beyonce.
It's All of the Lights by Kanye.
Yeah.
All of the Lights by Kanye.
All right, and then what's your go-to post-match meal after a big match?
Depends on how late we get done. If it's early, then definitely Qdoba. But if it's late, then Lagunitas.
I'm a picky eater, so I'm going to have to say chicken nuggets and mac and cheese, maybe a bowl of cereal.
That's fair. That's fair. I can respect that. After last night's basketball games, I went home and had a bowl of cereal.
Yeah,
It was
that's
great. I get
quick
it.
and easy. And
So, what's your favorite memory with the team to this point?
Probably selection show.
I would say the trip to Kokomo.
Oh, that's
It's a good answer. All right, Coach, you might want to cover your ears for this one. Least favorite part of practice?
the warm up.
Consequences. Don't complete the drill.
And then, now this is probably the part Coach will like to hear. Best part of practice?
Competing, showing up and being competitive.
Completing the drills that are so unbelievably hard that really make us mad, but when we complete them, so
It's worth
nice.
Perfect.
Pyramid practice.
I don't think I have any more questions for any of you guys. Thank you for joining us here. We really appreciate it. Congrats on a great season.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.